Where you going? What are you drinking tonight? Let's keep 'em flowing. Where do you come from? Where are you going? What are you feeling tonight? And what are you showing? Where do you come from? 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 Where you going? What are you drinking tonight? Let's keep 'em flowing.
That's the way to beat me.
And now we are live. What's going on? This is the download. We are here live with a expert panelist of people. We are here to talk lots of awesome stuff that's happening this week. We have the PS5 Pro killer. We have a 5090 NVIDIA price leak. And we have possibly Halo coming to PlayStation. Yes, the rumors may be true. Plus much, much more. But we're going to get into it. First, let's introduce everybody on the panel. We're going to do something a little bit different. Why don't you tell me who you are and what makes you an expert, a panelist, an analyst, any of those things. So we'll go forward with Jem. And see, for me, I'll be Rudiggs, systems architect, and avid gamer, Souls player. Beat the hardest games with one arm tied behind my back, and that's my expertise. So, Jem, why don't you give a little synopsis?
I am also a gamer, pro finals player. Also been game designing for over 10 years, so that's my background.
Nice. Maker?
I've been an avid gamer since I was young, and I have a degree in networking and have worked IT with the military for about 7 years now.
Nice. SPG?
I'm William, aka SPG. I have no credentials to speak of, but I am a cranky old man who's aged out of the gaming marketplace. Woohoo! Let's do this.
Yeah. But you have vast knowledge in your space. You're an enthusiast.
Yes, I'm a PC gaming enthusiast, and I've built multiple rigs and all that kind of stuff. So I am knowledgeable, but I am a cranky old man.
There we go. And Reaper.
I'm just like your average trash gamer, just playing around with you guys and just trash talking. I'm just making music over here.
Love it. Thanks, Reaver. And Ray?
Let's see. Graduate gemologist. I was a gemologist and a jeweler for about 20 years, and then a property manager for about 10 years. I'm retired. My son homeschools. I watch over my son. But gaming, I've been gaming since the Pong came out, and I played the Pong, and I'm a collector of pretty much a lot of game systems, and love gaming.
And there we have it, an excellent panel of enthusiast gamers, like-minded and counter-minded folks. You too can join the panel of the download. Feel free to join through the link in the description below and come hang out with us. Our first topic that we're going to jump into is the PS5 Pro killer. So this video was released through Linus Tech Tips, and they set out to create a computer that defied the PS5 Pro at the exact same price point. Were they able to do it? There was a huge caveat. They weren't able to match a lot of things. And in the end, I feel as if watching this video, the PS5 Pro is able to create a great market value for what you're able to get. They were not able to accomplish the same stats as the PS5 Pro with their PC build. So I think they had the advantage based on sheer numbers of producing the exact same unit over and over again. And I think if you're a hobbyist and a PC builder, you're going to have to take a little bit of extra money to building a PS5 Pro. And I think that should be the case in any circumstance. But we'll get into some thoughts and feelings about people who've watched this video. I obviously have a massive bias, repping my team PlayStation right here. So get that from me. But Jem, a PC enthusiast, did you feel as if this was a fair assessment? Did you feel like you would have done the experiment differently had you been doing it? Thoughts and feelings on this one?
Yeah, so um, first of all, if I was to do this setup myself, the very first thing I would do is wait until December, I think it was, where AMD is launching literally the complete equivalent to the PS5 Pro graphics card for PC. I don't know how much it will cost, but it's the complete equivalent power to it. So I would have just started off with that as like the core, and then build the PC around it. Um, but aside from that, in this video, he goes and buys half of the PC is like just used parts. Now, as a PC gamer and who loves building PCs and upgrading and stuff, I do recommend going for used parts as well. It's more eco-friendly, it's cheaper. Do some research. Is the seller a scammer? Is there a refund policy if it's broken? What's the warranty? I do recommend buying used parts. But when you're making a video like this, if you're going to use used parts, then I think it's fair to compare a used PC to a used PS5 Pro prices, which at the moment doesn't exist. But if it did, I think you would have to compare the used versus used. But the PS5 Pro is new, so everything in the PC should also be new. But that wasn't the case.
Yeah, I would have to agree. They were using a lot of used products. They were hunting or going to the salvage yard to build this PC to be able to match the PS5 Pro. And they were even making exemptions saying that they could brute raw power instead of using AI frame generation. However, I feel like if you're not offering the same features, it's not a direct comparison. But I'm going to throw it over to SPG, who feels like if you brute power, then what's the difference? You get what you get. SPG, how did you feel about this direct comparison? Would you have done things differently? And do you agree with the outcomes?
Well, I think Jem put it perfectly, which is that he would have got the new updated AMD card and then cost effectively built around that, probably with new parts to compete. But here's the thing. This is one person trying to build the equivalent of a PlayStation that they built a million of to give it to you at that price point. Okay? Like, you got to put it into a little bit of context. This guy's just going to buy parts to build an equivalent machine. Now, all that it shows is that the PS5 Pro gives value. And I would say if you're bought into that ecosystem, that's value enough anyway, if you want higher frame rates. But there's a few things that weren't exactly right. They didn't exactly get 2 terabytes. They didn't have Wi-Fi 7. Not that that matters. But like to make it equivalent, like for that exact price, it can't be done without going, bargain bin shopping. But when it comes to brute force and stuff, that what they built will run games at a native resolution and give you a higher frame rate. So as in performance goes, I think it kicked its butt. PC will. Just the APUs and the way they have shared RAM pool and the way that they're designed is just limited compared to dedicated hardware. It always will be, man. It just always will be. But they came really close with some bargain bin stuff. I agree with Jem as well that with e-waste and everything that's going on, you should have some used parts. But or don't be scared of it as long as you know what you're buying from. Research the part and make sure that it's from a good manufacturer and it outlives its normal lifespan or whatever. There's things you can do, but a direct comparison video, I think it kind of failed, as Jem said.
Can I add?
Yeah, absolutely, right.
Dude, this wasn't a comparison because comparison means parts have to be equivalent, and it wasn't. So it wasn't a good comparison. I think it just showed people how to build a gaming PC on the cheap, which is not bad. But at the end of the day, dude, let's be honest. There's a lot of people that are terrified of PCs, and I've been telling some of my friends that live out here, I'm like, dude, PC. I mean, once upon a time I was scared of the PC. A lot of people are just so used to the norm. Just get a console every 5-6 years.
I will say this though, the PS5 Pro is pushing people in that direction with the price point, and they have to mess around. Now they have to think, do I want a PS5 Pro? Well, what monitor are you running? Do you have the proper, cables to even get what you're trying to do?
Honestly, dude, I think there's guys that just don't really do the research, and they're playing it on TVs and they're playing it on monitors, and they're not getting the full graphics that they should from the machine.
A lot of people, I feel like, forget that some people get the PC for specific reasons. I know people who have PCs so that they can mod Baldur's Gate, or they have a PC that they can play Lethal Company and mod that, I know people who just use their PC for like League of Legends and Valorant. They're like the only games that they play on PC. So I think there's specific uses for like PC if you're a PC dedicated gamer and compared to a console gamer. So I never really understood this whole comparison thing because a PC will do more than a PlayStation. Yeah, it'll be more expensive, but that's kind of what you get. It's a dedicated device versus something that's more open form where you can kind of modify it how you want.
Yeah, my only point would be is that they're getting closer to PC gaming to where they want to check out how many frames am I getting, what what settings can I tweak. Like they're getting their first steps into that world in a sense, to where it is just as simple as buy the console and plug it into your TV. But if you're worried about refresh rate, and you want to get the most out of it, you're gonna have to dig into it a little bit. It's more similar to PC than the console has ever been.
You know what? Honestly, dude, all I see, and I'm just keeping it real, is photos. That's all I see. People showing their pictures. Hey guys, look at Horizon. Hey guys, look at this. They're just showing the graphic, Like look how good the graphics are on Threads and on X.com. People are uploading their gallery, their pictures.
Yeah, and typically they're PlayStation games, but that's just because they look beautiful. Anyways, that's a bias for me. This is
could add.
a interesting topic for sure. It will be a debate until time's end. Console versus gaming PC. One question I have for the panel, and I'll be curious to find this out. If you go to a restaurant, do you think it's okay to change things from the menu, or do you stick with what the chef has created? Like, do you pick and choose things? And I'm wondering if this translates to gaming. So, Jem, I'll start with you. Do you stick to what the chef has prepared, or do you change things in the menu?
Well, I go to a restaurant and the chef just gives me a food.
Well, if you go to a restaurant and you get a menu, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I like this, but I don't want tomatoes. Would you do something like that?
I
I
see.
have a peanut allergy. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
want the salad
Yes.
to kill me.
Yeah, I
yeah.
would.
now we see.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
You would change things?
Yeah, because like in a English breakfast meal, you get eggs, and I can't tolerate eggs, so I always ask a replacement, like instead of eggs, give me like more bacon or something.
There you go.
I love Alfredo sauce. I always like if I go for pasta, can I not get the red sauce? Can I get Alfredo sauce, please? And then they
Oh
say
my
sure.
goodness. Everyone's gonna be a menu changer. SPG, are you a menu changer too? Or do you?
Damn right I am, man. 'cause
Oh
they
my
like,
gosh.
listen, man, 'cause they like to put big pickles on sandwiches, and I don't mind pickles, but I don't want a soggy pickle flavored bread. I'm good on that,
Right?
bro. I'm gonna take no pickles.
Hey,
right,
Root, come to
Reaver.
dinner out here in California, dude.
You're my last hope. Are
Okay.
you a menu changer, or would you just stick to what the chef has made?
I would be a changer too. Like
Oh my.
like on my burger, for example. Like I didn't want any ketchup, right? I would like some hot sauce. Hot sauce would be going good on hamburger. And yes, what SPG said. I would rather have like smaller pickles than a big one.
Well, listen, here's the deal, man.
Yeah, he loves those big pickles.
The chef
Hey.
has created something, and I'm gonna stick to it. I honestly do not like any substitutions. I'm not a substitutions person.
Root, it depends on what restaurant you go
Yes.
to.
Yes.
Depends on what restaurant you go
Yeah,
to.
I will straight up walk up to the counter of McDonald's and say, I want a 20-piece chicken nugget, drop them fresh. I'm fat. I'll know the difference.
Yes.
Fine dining. I let the chef do whatever. But dude, if it's come on, man.
Yeah. That was a fun one. I just wanted to see if it translated to console versus PC gamers, but it didn't. It's just a Rudix thing. I've got complexes. But let's move on.
Hey, one last thing.
yeah,
You
go for it.
brought up the PS5 Pro. One last thing.
Yes.
By the time the PS6 rolls around, they're going to keep using the PSSR. You'll have a version 2 that'll probably have frame gen, and by then the frame rate isn't going to be an issue anymore, in my opinion. If they invest in it and it turns out as capable as they want it to be.
Yes, it's gonna
yeah.
cost you that.
I've heard what the second iteration of PSSR is called, and it's Prussia.
Under pressure.
I have a
Alright.
brilliant monetization idea for Sony. They should lock PSSR behind PS Plus.
Oh my god. You know what, Jem? There was a discussion on PlayStation Bros that they actually plan to put the haptics behind an exterior cost or a subscription cost. And I'm like, that is ridiculous. The pure core of what makes PlayStation, having haptics on your controller, is being rumored to be put behind subscription. And I think that's bonkers. So nothing's impossible. They could definitely put PSSR behind a subscription. Well, enough doom and gloom on the PlayStation side. Let's jump into what's going on next. We have no red lines for Xbox games on other platforms. That's right. Xbox is officially a third person um how do you
Third
say
party.
this? Third party box. Xbox has been vocal about its commitment to cross platform gaming, with Phil Spencer emphasizing that there are no red lines when it comes to making Xbox games available on other platforms. Spencer has highlighted that Xbox has already brought its games to various platforms, and the ongoing discussions with PlayStation and Nintendo regarding Call of Duty to their platforms is a testament to Xbox's dedication to expanding its reach of games. However, the big rumor now is that since there are no red lines, does that mean Halo is free to come to PlayStation, the true home of which it should be at?
Oh my god.
I mean, Halo's inherently the coolest game Xbox has got, with lasers, space ninjas, energy swords. I mean, that is inherently feels PlayStation. But let's give it up to the panel before my ponyism goes too hard. We'll jump into the panel. And since everybody talked on the last one, we'll start with Jem. Do you see this as a great move? Do you think exclusivity should be a thing, or are you happy if there is no more exclusivity? You're just sitting there on your PC universe anyways, right? So
Yeah, so from my perspective, none of this matters. Like, I'm always going to be playing the games. But if you want your console to survive, you do need exclusivity. Like, that's just a matter of fact. Well, it's my opinion, but I think it's a fact. It's already too late for Microsoft with Xbox, so you might as well just put all your IPs on other platforms and earn your money from that way, and plus Game Pass. So yeah.
yeah, 100%. Maker, any thoughts and feelings on Xbox saying no red lines? Obviously, this is a massive shift into gaming from one generation to another in terms of the marketplace.
Yeah. So to me, I kind of saw this kind of coming. Um, to what extent? I think it's slowly going to happen. I think I mentioned this before back at the Stadia days that I think in the long run of gaming, I think most people will be gaming through their TVs, kind of with like apps similar to like Netflix, and it's just going to be like a Nintendo app, a Sony app, or a PlayStation app, and an Xbox app, um, that you just load up games and your controller connects to your TV. And I think that's the route that Xbox is thinking with this whole play anywhere. They don't care where or where your games are going to be bought at. I think it's going to come down to that subscription service, which they're heavily invested into Game Pass. Um, I think it will benefit some titles. Like, I think multiplayer titles, especially since those are reliant on having a significant player base. Stuff like Halo and Gears of War going over to PlayStation could help with its population and probably popularity as well.
Yeah. These games that are not Fortnite need some help in terms of population. And I think a lot of games deserve more spotlight than they get. Unfortunately, Concord gone too soon. But I digress. SPG, do exclusives matter, or will the next generation just be a blend of mixed games everywhere?
Well, I think that exclusives do matter and do push people to certain consoles, but Microsoft doesn't have a choice. They own too much. What? They're going to push everyone to a console that's sold way less than anything else? They're going to only put their games on Xbox. The people aren't going to jump from PlayStation to Xbox for that reason. Like, they're kind of in trouble to where they are going to have to like put their stuff on everything. as Maker said, eventually it's going to be an app on your TV. I do see it that way as well. But they own too much, man. For them to just put it on, think about it. They bought up so much stuff, and what? They're going to push it right back to just Xbox when that's not where most of the gamers are right now. That makes zero sense. Now, you could make a gamble on that and hope that people do jump ship, but that's not what they're doing. We're seeing the opposite. They're going for the money. So, yeah, I think it's a good move on their part. I think it's almost the only move on their part.
Reaver, do you think this changes anything? Now, you have a PlayStation console yourself.
Yes.
This is just better for you, right? Because now you just get more games.
Yeah. Oh yes. Oh, it actually it'll be really nice. Now, since I pretty much mostly play on PlayStation, but it is good to have exclusivity as well, because think about this. So, if you want like new customers, you want new customers to your console, right? You gotta have some exclusivity to it, and like you don't want to like branch out too much or just ruin business for you. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
No, I hear you. Exclusives do matter. I'm definitely on that side. I think that there needs to be exclusives in order to drive the box that you're trying to sell to people, because at that point, then what is the reason? Then it becomes just straight feature based. And if we're talking features, then PlayStation's got haptics, they've got AI generated frame stuff in their PS Pro models. So in that case, the features on the PlayStation are just beating out. I'm not sure where Xbox matches them there. But that's again my ponyism coming through. Ray,
Excuse me. Can I get in? Can I get in
yeah,
here, please?
yeah, I
Tired of
want to
the
have
pony.
you close out before Maker shuts me down. With facts.
First of all, I actually do agree with Jim and Reaver. I did understand you, bro.
Okay,
Um,
thank you.
it's I learned that from Stadia, dude. I learned that from Stadia. When Stadia shut down their studio and they didn't really have anything exclusive. Yeah, they had some features that were nice, but they didn't really have anything exclusive, and they just didn't push it. Um, I think you got to have
Push it
something.
real good.
You can, it's nice to give stuff, but you got to have something that the other people don't have. I mean, you're still in a business, and this is a competitive, gaming is a competitive business. Guys, we have this. They don't have this. But SPG's right. They own too much stuff. But I mean, can you imagine if they said, you know what, we're not gonna let anybody else play Call of Duty. We'll be the only place that has Call of Duty. Could you imagine that? If they only had
That
Call
was
of Duty.
Yeah,
yeah,
that would
You
be a
couldn't get it on
monopoly.
PlayStation. You couldn't get it on Nintendo.
that would suck.
That would be a
It was
game
stuck.
engine.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I mean, if I was the owner and I had this gem of a game, hell no, I'm not gonna give it to everybody. I want it to come to my brand. So yeah, keep something. Don't give away everything. At least have something.
Well, Rudigs, I'm completely okay with you playing your Xbox exclusives where they play best on the PlayStation, and I'll play my PlayStation exclusives where they play best, which is PC.
Hey, them ponies need something anyway. All they get is remakes anyway. So they need some games. They need some games.
Maker,
I
you
thought
want
I'd
to
bring it
chime
down a
in
bit.
before we
Yeah,
wrap up this one?
yeah, I wanted to specify that, like, I mean, Microsoft still does have, like, even Indiana Jones is a 6 month quote unquote exclusive. But I wanted to say, I think all, like, even Sony is starting to branch out and put their stuff more often on other platforms. We recently saw Concord day and date, Helldivers 2, Until Dawn remake was day and date on PC as well. I think a lot of these bigger companies are going to start to look into more profitability, which means releasing on more platforms sooner. And like held just a as a just a little tidbit. Held the original Helldivers was actually the first Sony published game to release on PC, and that was in 2015. So it's been 9 years since their first PC title, and now we're seeing day and date titles on PC. It's just a trend that's going to keep happening. And I think Microsoft is in more of a dire position. That's why they're doing it sooner. But that's what it's all about, profitability.
There you have it. A lot of great perspectives on this story, and some different feelings and views from different types of consoles and gamers. But let's jump into a little bit more Xbox stuff happening. We have apparently people are not happy working at Xbox. Hundreds of quality assurance workers at ZeniMax Studios, the parent company of Bethesda, have gone on strike. Apparently, Starfield was so bad, the quality assurance workers just left. They just walked out. Now, none of that's true aside from the quality assurance workers. Sorry, I just wanted to throw that joke in there.
All hail Todd Howard.
I believe it.
It was due to unfair labor practices. The strike is the first of its kind in a North American video game industry and comes months after the negotiations between the union and Microsoft, which were acquired in 2021. The workers are seeking higher wages, improved benefits, a greater say in workplace decisions.
A new game engine.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Alleging that Microsoft has been delaying the bargaining process. So there you have it. Internal disputes between a company that they acquired back in 2021, I believe, for about $7 billion. And it spewed out Starfield, and now we have strikes happening. Do you think, and we'll go across the panel, and feel free to play the soundbite, Microsoft is a good place where games go to get better? And we'll go across the panel with that question. No one's gonna play. I don't have access to that soundbite.
I was
Come
just
on,
waiting
Jeff.
for you to say someone's name.
Yeah.
No, the soundbite. Microsoft.
No, we're not going to do that, you pony.
Nah.
We're not going to do Jesus.
I've
Anyways.
heard that every single day.
Jem. Wait, I'm not gonna start with Jem this time. I've been starting. He's sitting right beside me. Sorry, Jem. We're wrapping around to Ray.
Wow.
Is
Yes.
Is Xbox the place where games go to get better? Can you give me an example of where a game has gone to Xbox and got better? Because this is just hurt. Like, I don't get what's happening here. It's
How does
tell
wait a minute,
Microsoft
Rooted?
to stop dragging their feet.
How does
Yeah,
how does the question you
first
just
of
asked
all-
Ray relate to that article?
First of all, how
Just the
dare you?
question.
How dare you and your Concord? How long was Concord out? How long was Concord out?
2 weeks.
Wasn't it? I mean,
We're
good
not
lord.
talking about Concord right now.
yeah,
Right? Don't
anyway.
look over there. Don't look over there.
Yeah. Anyway. Anyway. Look. Have they made bad games? Yes. Have they made good games? Yes. It's just like any other company. Just like on the other side. Dude, these people work long hours for these games. The cost of living, where they live out, like where that place is in Maryland, I think, Bethesda, Maryland. And also there's other offices. It's high. It's expensive. Cost of living is expensive. People got to live. And with the inflations and everything, just people need money. And people are not happy. And so that's why they form unions. And that's why you have to, it's not about the games. It's about getting paid for what you do. And I mean, and people don't seem to understand, but Microsoft is a freaking $1 trillion. They got money. They have lots of money. And yes, they do layoffs. And yes, they can, as soon as they fire people, yes, guess what? They hire people. But their company, they're not a broke company. They have the money. And it's the people's right to demand, especially if they're working on the games and stuff like that. And they need to get paid for what they do. No matter if the game is bad or not, they should get paid for what they do.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone would argue that. I'm gonna get one more opinion on this one before we move to the next one. SPG, do you think that Xbox is the place where games get better? Do you think this is Bethesda's fault? What's happening here? Or do you think people just deserve fair wages and it's just coming down to unfair wages and bad practices?
I love how you phrased the question. I'm gonna give
I
a
don't.
special
I
answer.
don't. I need to get better at that.
No, look, man. I think that anybody that your workplace environment is very important. They want people in the environment because they're paying all those costs for the building and computers and all that stuff. But I would say I'm behind it 100%. The only way I'm not is if there's not a new Bethesda engine in the fine print. They need a new game engine.
Yes, they do.
Can I?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, briefly. There have been instances where a developer purchased by Microsoft has done better, or at least it helped save that said company. Double Fine is one that comes to mind, where they were having a lot of money issues, and then Microsoft acquired them. I think there's a whole documentary on it, Psych Odyssey, if you want to check it out. It's really good. And then other things such as like Obsidian being able to make stuff like Pentiment, where they said that they wouldn't have been able to make it if it weren't for Game Pass, right? So I think there have been some studios that were affected positively by Microsoft, but I think that's just as much negative as well. So I don't think it's a Microsoft issue. I think there's a lot of studios out there that have affected like acquisitions have affected studios negatively. Embracer Group is another one that comes to mind for a lot of
And,
negative stuff. So
and
yeah, it's
Ru,
sucks.
and another thing, we used to have a Microsoft office out here in Silicon Valley. I used to do a lot of credit apps trying to, when people used to buy jewelry. So I got to see what they make when I ran their credit. And executives do pretty damn good. The people under them, they're just middle class, but you'd be surprised what the top guys get. They make a lot of money.
Well, no doubt about that, and definitely should trickle down to the people putting in the hard work in making these games happen. I don't think anyone can argue with that one. So let's jump to the next one, though. This one, I know everyone will have something to say. That's right. Everyone, look behind your shoulder because I think a Stalker 2 is right behind you. You love that transition? I think everyone loved that.
Oh.
Stalker,
Wait, what are you doing, homie?
Stalker 2 has released some PC what do you call it?
Specs.
Some specifications, and Nvidia's benchmarks have revealed that even the more powerful RTX 4090 graphics cards struggles to achieve a consistent 60 FPS at a native 4K resolutions without all the settings maxed out in Stalker 2. So the game's demanding graphics and advanced features like ray tracing, not Ray the gaming cyborg, have pushed the most high-end hardware to a place where it is at its limits. The benchmark suggests that players may need to make some graphical compromises. Nobody likes to compromise. Or invest in even more hardware to make this Stalker 2 experience that much better. So Crazy stuff. The visual peak of a video game right now is outdoing any current hardware that you can put out there. I think that's insane. Software is outpacing hardware too quickly. Somebody needs to just put out, here are the specifications we are going to follow, and people need to follow it. This is too crazy.
You know what to blame, right? You know what to blame, Rudigs. It's
Tell
the
me.
damn ray tracing. It's ray tracing. Dude, it's the lighting that is
Right.
crippling the hardware, dude. If you turn ray tracing off, your card is gonna zip through that, man. I can guarantee you, it's the lighting that is crippling these cards. They had to add stuff to the cards for the lighting, and there's not a
Yeah.
lot there. Go ahead, make it.
I was gonna like agree with that. I believe the settings is with like ultra with all the everything on. And if you look at stuff even of like Cyberpunk, which came out years ago, on a even on a 4090, will chunk at times with ray tracing turned on. I mean, just look at path tracing. It even hinders 4090 unless you turn on DLSS.
Stop cranking it to ultra.
I mean, is this not too much though? I mean, should they not have made it this graphically demanding? What does this mean for the console version? Is this going to not even run at 30 FPS on console? What is the state
No,
of
they're
video
gonna-
games right now?
They're gonna turn the ray tracing down. That's the compromise when it goes from PC to console or whatever. You don't get the resolution, you don't get the textures, and you're not gonna get the ray tracing. These are the compromises that are made all the time. But what's happening is this game, Stalker 2, is let me guess, Unreal 5? Is it Unreal 5 engine or is it its own? Yeah, Unreal 5. That's what I figured.
Unreal 5.
5.5.
Unreal 5. Yeah, Unreal 5 is the creme de the creme right now. And not only that, but it pushes stuff to the limit, man. They want studio quality assets, meaning eventually, man, the closer you get to something, the better it's going to look until it fills your entire screen and you can't get any closer to it. Like, we're not there yet, but we're going to be. And how is it going to, Unreal 5, man, is going to be here for a decade. And the hardware we're trying to play games on it, like the PS5 and stuff, is already 4 years old. Think about that.
Well,
And,
Short
there-
LMAO says ray tracing is not overrated. You can use your brain and use DLSS at quality. Well, will quality still allow you to achieve 60 FPS? I'm not a PC gamer, but I believe that makes compromises. And at least to me, the 60 FPS is the primary factor when it comes to gaming and having a smooth experience.
Are
Yeah,
you really playing at 60 though?
There's actually controversy about the PC specs. It turns out the PC specs are somewhat a lie because the developers have wrote those PC specs with DLSS in mind. So when it says you need a 2070, they assume you're going to turn on DLSS as well on top of that. It's not without, but it's with. And they don't mention that in the PC specs. And if you mention this on the Steam forums, the developers literally ban you for it. And that's what's been going on for today, for the last 24 hours.
Well, let me say this. On a 4090, you can play Cyberpunk and have it look absolutely amazing. You turn on path tracing, you just cut your frames down to like 40. Like, there's different versions of ray tracing and implementing of lighting that goes into a lot of these games. Some of it's faked, but the systems they're using now, they're not faking it. And it's going to take a lot more resources. Now, I would rather turn off ray tracing, and that's just me. But like in Spider-Man 2, or Spider-Man, it's very significant when you're on a glass window and it turns into a type of mirror. Like, that can't be understated. That's very cool and it's very immersive. But it is a resource hog. And they haven't found a workaround for that. There's no AI that's going to fix it. Like, they're adding stuff to the cards to get better ray tracing.
I mean, in my opinion, I feel like they need to offer an option where they offload a lot of this heavy duty stuff with the cloud. And not give you a gaming limit on that, of course. But I mean, consoles and PCs are just reaching a limit. Like you said, this needs DLSS or else you're still going to suffer. I mean, this game is just not a 60 FPS. You won't be able to run it at that. I mean, it's just impossible. And I doubt when it comes to the PS5 Pro that even it, with all its glorious power, will be able to hit a 60 FPS on this game.
Well,
I
no,
just
with PSSR, no, with PSSR, it should be able to. It's just what did they have to do to make it run properly? Because they're gonna have to turn down, like, it's not gonna be ultra settings. That was part of the debate of the PS5 Pro that I didn't like. These people were trying to say, oh, it's gonna be as powerful as a 4090. No, it's not. It's an APU. It's never gonna be as powerful as dedicated stuff. But there's always corners to cut when it comes to putting it on console. It's just true, man. You like dial the stuff back a little bit, and the more you dial it up on PC, the more it runs your whole rig hard. They have workarounds with AI like DLSS. It's making things better and stuff, but it's still very resource hungry, man.
Yeah, and shout out to Short LMAO. He says on the 4090, it's already said that at Ultra 4K, it'll run at 50 FPS, but with DLSS performance, it'll run at 120 FPS.
Nice.
Now, I believe I did see that in
Where?
the article, but
Okay.
that is a huge jump in frame generation. Is DLSS that powerful? And I just don't know it. I'm not familiar with the technology, but can it just hold a 120 from a 50?
Yeah,
If
frame
anyone in
gen
the
is
panel.
OP. Yeah, frame gen's like crazy. You can use it on AMD frame gen as well. They're great as well.
Yeah, and you got to remember, to get these effective frame rates, you're not going to be going at native 4K or native 2K. You could go to native 2K, but like it just depends on what kind of hardware you got and what you can do. You can dial in these things on PC fairly easily. You just don't have those options on console.
On Pro.
Until the Pro. Yes, thanks, Ray, for that shout out. Well, excellent. Anybody else want to say something? Do you think software needs to hit the brakes? Do you think hardware needs to hit the brakes? In my opinion, I think cloudware needs to step up. I think you should have a cloud boost option that allows your console to offload some of the work into the cloud. I think that's a step that we need to be taking to be able to keep up with a lot of this software that's just pushing the limits further and further. Or not be as picky and just be happy with what we got. But yeah, Go Maker.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I do think that it's gonna constantly progress. We're gonna get more intensive games. That's just the cycle that has always been. But performance on consoles will always be on how well optimized it is for the console. I mean, they're able to put the Apex Legends on the Switch, and that's like a mobile chip. So, yeah.
Ooh, a little Apex. Well, let's get into our next story, because there is a lot to talk about today and some other things I wanted to jump into, and that is, drum roll please, the leaked 5090 price. That's right, everybody, we are going to be talking some next gen gaming cards, AI, on the same lines as Terminator and Skynet. That's right, NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5090 price leak just came out, and it's eye-wateringly high. A leaked document suggests that NVIDIA's upcoming flagship GPU and GeForce Now RTX 5090 could be priced significantly higher than its predecessor, the RTX 4090. The rumored price is, wait for it,
Oh boy.
It's pretty high. It's around the 2K USD mark, and it has sparked concerns about the increasing cost of high-end graphics cards and their accessibility to gamers. Well, obviously this is not accessible and is only for the intense hobbyists with pockets that are able to drop that. While the leak is not officially confirmed, it does align with the trend of the rising GPU prices in recent generations, potentially due to the increased production costs and market demand. So I'm going to jump into it. Will anyone from the panel, I think I've heard Maker talk about possibly getting a 5090, but will you be waiting or will you be jumping in on launch day? What's going on with this 5090 SPG? You called the price, I believe, in our predictions channel.
I did.
Oh wow.
Do you think that that they're hitting the price at the market? Do you think it's too high? Will you be waiting on it or jumping in at launch day?
I'll be waiting, but here's the thing, man. Nvidia are making a whole bunch of AI boards. So the 5090 is going to be in limited supply at launch anyway. It might be a paper launch. We don't know. And when these cards launch, they're going to be scooped up by the scalpers immediately. Just like the PS5 did, and they lost their ass on that because PS5 is available, which I find hilarious. The only thing they made money on was the CD drive. But when these cards launch, you're going to see that they're going to be bought up and then they're going to end up on Amazon and other places. And if they sold for $2,000, they're going to be 3,000. If they're 2,500, they're going to be sold for 3,000, 3,500. Like, you're going to see a huge markup. And the reason they're so expensive, for one, the 5090 is going to have more VRAM, GDDR7. It's going to have more VRAM. So that price point is going to go up a little bit anyway. But Nvidia got used to looking at all these scalper prices, and they wanted in on that. They're the ones selling the product. Why ain't they getting the money? And that's why the prices went up on the 40 series. Now, what's more interesting to me besides the price is what their marketing is going to be and how they're going to try to sell it and make it that you need it. I'm interested to see what they do at the rollout. But when it launches, if you're not standing in line, like, you're not getting one, and not even at the $2,000 price. So buckle up and prepare for that. And by the way, for all of you that are like, oh, I've got a 20 series card and I've been waiting and I'm going to buy this. Well, make sure you realize you're going to need a new power supply for damn sure, because these things are going to be a piglet as well for power.
I got the power.
I'm going 4090. I will wait later. That's what I'm doing. I'm in the 30 series. I'm just going to go to the 40s.
Yeah, I'm going to be getting at least 16 for my Bitcoin mining farm.
Yeah, what?
Maker, what are your thoughts on the 5090? I know you were talking about possibly eyeing and purchasing, skipping a generation. Are you going to wait for a Black Friday? Oh,
let me explain one thing. SPG, I used a term called paper launch. And what a paper launch means is that you roll out your product with all the specs, you got your advertising out there, but you can't actually go into a store and frickin' buy one because nobody has one. If you weren't standing in line, the first 3 people, as they were like, hey, we're starting to sell them, you weren't getting one. That's a paper launch. A lot of cards end up having a paper launch. Go ahead, Root.
Yeah, I was just gonna throw it to Maker. Do you think you'll be jumping in, trying to get into a paper launch before it hits the shredder, or will you be waiting for a Black Friday, maybe a year round?
I'm probably going to try and see if I can get it available day one. I would like to, because my PC is pretty old. I built it about 7 years ago now, and so it's got a pretty old CPU in it. But I do have a 3080 Ti, which I was able to acquire, and that similarly, it was when there was like a huge shortage on GPUs. I was lucky enough to find it being available at my local Best Buy and waited in line for about 4 or 5 hours to get it. So we'll see. I'm gonna try because I do want a new upgrade, and it'd be nice to grab that 5090. I think it's a reasonable price considering high-end 4090s are around that price as well.
Well, it's a pretty penny, and you could buy 2 PS Pros with that. But that is. Oh, thank you. Let's jump on to. Oh wait, Jem, you are a PC advocate. Do you think the 5090 is real? Do you think that it is coming out now, or do you think they're still a year away? Or any other
Yeah,
opinion you got
I
on
think
this
it'll
one?
come early next year.
Yeah.
First half. Yeah. I'll definitely get it for work. We always get like the best high end when it comes out. For animation, like rendering and stuff.
Yeah, explain that a little bit, Jim. That's actually what this card is for. It's not for you to play Fortnite. Like, explain that a little bit.
Let me know
Yes.
how the deep fake farm works. Yeah, give us detail.
Yeah, so we have a direct line to Nvidia. So when all the scalpers and stuff are buying, we can easily just buy one directly from Nvidia. At retail price. And usually I'm the one who sets it up, so it's great. So I usually get the box, take some photos because I'll never see it ever again. And then just install it, and then we do rendering with it for animation. It goes to the render farm, and it just destroys the rendering time. It's like it's so
It
quick to
hammers
render.
it, doesn't it? It hammers.
Yeah, it's a machine. It's like
Like, I don't know if you guys have ever encoded, say, a movie, but if you've got a shit GPU, that encoding a movie can take forever. But if you got a fast GPU, instead of hours, you're talking minutes. And if it's minutes, now you're talking seconds, and it saves these companies a lot of time.
and the best part of the
Exactly.
5090 is that you have unlimited gaming hours. You're not locked to 100 hours a month.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
no
make sure to
comment.
check your calendars.
Out.
No comments while I'm
We
on
talked about that last week. Don't go there.
Yes. Well, that is the 5090, folks, coming out next year. Predictions of around 2,000 USD. Will it be there? Will it not? Let's see what happens. And what power will it have? The next generation of AI chips. It'll be exciting to see.
Well, besides that, also, I believe it's supposed to be the next nanometer. And if that's the case, it could be a significant jump in performance. And if you don't know what nanometer is, just go Google that stuff and go down a rabbit hole.
Yes. See, I don't deal in nano, if you know what I mean. Ray.
What?
Ray's snoring.
No, I'm not.
Oh.
I'm
Oh
here.
no! Switch
No,
your
I'm
mic
not. I'm
drop.
here. Stop
Mic
it.
drop,
Stop
please.
it. Stop it.
Mic drop. Mic drop, please.
Stop it.
All right. Well, we have Ray 2, and now we have Switch 2. Nintendo confirms when it will announce the Switch successor. That's right. More Nintendo Switch 2 news because it is actually happening, I swear. Nintendo president, I am not going to be able to say that name. Shuntaro Furukawa has confirmed that the company will not announce the Switch 2 successor in 2024. They expect it in sometime in 2025 to be announced. There is no specific timeline as of yet, but do not expect an announcement before the end of the year. The news comes as Switch continues to perform very well in the market, as well as growing anticipation for the next gen, as driven up sales, as well as they're going to probably get gangbuster sales coming into this Christmas holiday. So don't expect a Switch 2 announcement, not even release, announcement into 2025. Let's not too much to say on this one, so I'll just say that one's more of a PSA. Nintendo Switch coming soon.
Yay.
The next one I want to talk about before we get out of here is and this is not a drill. This will probably surprise some of you. I can't believe I found this. PS5 Pro is on sale this Black Friday.
What?
Is that not crazy?
That is crazy. What? I can't believe they're allowing that.
It is on sale this Friday. There's in the UK, there's 2 stores. Argos, which I've never heard of, but Jem probably knows, and the EE store, which I've also never heard of. But they are going on sale for 40 quid, which is Harry Potter dollars, and which I don't understand. My translation is about 80 Canadian dollars. So just that price difference alone on a PS5 Pro, what, 2 to 3 weeks after release? What is happening? I mean, that is
80?
bonkers.
Black
That is
Friday. It's Black
bonkers.
Friday.
Yeah,
Black
but
Friday.
this thing just
crazy.
came out. The
Yeah.
screen
Right.
to run this
Right.
damn thing never goes on sale. And yet the console went on sale like two weeks later. I'm
But-
absolutely flabbergasted.
They looked at their warehouse and they saw they had a bunch of them sitting in the warehouse. They got to get rid of it.
No,
Really?
no, no,
It's
no,
almost like they had wiggle room on the price.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
It seems like those sales are third party related, and it's not necessarily because of Sony. So that's why. This has happened before on other electronics before as well. It's just you look for the best deal and take it.
Well, rule of thumb is they always lose money on console sales anyway. So how much does the PS5 cost to create compared to how much are they selling it for? And then it's already on sale. Those are the things to take into consideration.
Yeah, like Verizon had a deal for the Series S for $150.
what?
Like, yeah, like there's some like crazy deals out there, but
That's
a lot of them are very third party related, not necessarily with the Sony or
Yeah,
or
it's
Available
Microsoft.
right now.
yeah, but $80 for the
but
PS5
you would-
Pro. That's insane.
You would think, PlayStation would go across and say no sales, keep it at its price. But to see something like that, I just think is pretty crazy. If you are looking to jump into PS5 Pro, Black Friday is the time. I mean, an $80 Canadian difference to me, that moves the needle in my mind. So pretty
Rudix,
cool.
you know what should move the needle in your mind? And I hate to bring this up on stream, but you need an extremely powerful PC as a content creator. Please.
Yes. Yeah, that's coming soon as well. We're cooking. We're cooking. Maybe I'll build one of those Linus tip powerful than a PS5 Pro computer. Somebody put in the chat actually that they saw the 4000 series for what, like $200-300. I think that's a crazy price. I mean, you could start building some cool stuff.
Black Friday, I think that's when I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
When you get the
Yeah,
best deals.
I bought a graphics card. I'm waiting for it. It's coming on Monday. I saw it on a great deal. I was like, yeah, I need to get this.
All right. Well, let's go to the stars for our very last one because I like to throw an article out there that's purely random. So there is a new formula for life and intelligent life in the universe. So a new formula has been developed by Swedish researcher, and we are going to be talking about this. It analyzes the probability of advanced civilization existing in the universe, taking into account the possibility of multiple habitable planets per star system. The formula redefines the Drake equation. That's right. Sorry, Drake. No one's answering your hotline bling anymore because we've got a new equation, and it incorporates factors like the number of stars and habitable planets, the average number of planets suitable for life, and the likelihood of developing intelligent technology. Now, the calculation was done, and guess what? If more than 1,000 civilizations existed in our galaxy, we would be the least advanced among us, potentially explaining why We cannot see anyone else out there. So pretty cool stuff. And basically, they just came out with the fact that we're still the preschool of the universe. Want to throw it out to the panel, and everyone can give their thoughts and views on what they think is out there in the stars. And I think it'll be cool to actually hear some of your thoughts. So I want to start with Ray.
Well, yesterday on Capitol Hill, they had a UFO hearing.
Oh,
So, and people were talking about that there is life out there and they have the bodies and they just can't talk about it on TV. They have to talk about it behind closed doors, but there is life out there. I'll leave it at that.
All right, Reaver, is there life out there in the
I
stars?
mean, I used to not believe, but as of late, actually, been believing that there actually could be more life out there than we could imagine. Like, just think about it. That'd be so cool if there was life out there, and I would believe that's we are at least advanced too.
Now, if you had the chance, now, would you hook up with an alien? Because I would definitely do it.
What the hell?
Come on. I mean, it's a
Do
once in a
you ever
lifetime
seen
chance.
Spice?
Think, but yeah,
No, dude. You see that movie Spice?
another
Don't do
life,
it. Don't do it.
probably another life, probably.
Exactly.
All right,
Thank
you're
you,
sleeping
Reaver.
on the couch, mister.
Oh, shut it.
Hannah's making food in the kitchen in the other room with music on. I'm safe. SBG, life in the universe. What's up with it?
Of course, man. I mean, there's barely intelligent life here on Earth, but
Yeah.
I think there's
All cards here.
I think there's more intelligence here than we know of. Listen, man, I think we live honestly in a biological, sociological petri dish. I really do. And the way we study animals, what's the first thing we do? We cut ourselves out of the equation. We hide cameras, we watch, we sedate them, run in and take samples. The same shit's happening to us, dude. The exact same shit. And it's been happening since the dawn of time. Cave paintings don't lie. Like it's
Use anal
something
probe.
it is something that has been interacting with us ever since the dawn of our civilization, and we have some kind of symbiotic relationship with it that we are currently unaware of, in my opinion.
Maker went on deafen on this one because for legal reasons he can't divulge what he knows.
Oh,
He was anal probe as a young child.
I think what he
Oh,
can't confirm
Probably.
or deny he's a government contractor. I think that's what
He was abducted and abducted. I can't even talk. And he was anal probe. Story I
Illuminati
heard.
confirmed.
a gem. Any thoughts on the stars above us? Do you think there's
Yeah,
life out
I
there?
heard from American news that aliens eat our dogs as well.
Hey,
Oh.
hey, hey.
Well,
It's cats.
what an
It's
excellent
cats. Dude, get it
soundbite.
right. It's cats. Get it
Oh
right.
boy.
What an excellent soundbite to end off our last topic of the day. Thanks everyone for stopping on by. We do appreciate you. And big shout out to everyone here on the panel. Give yourself a shout out. Let people know what you'll be up to. And thanks everybody in chat. You guys have been awesome. And if you're new to the channel, thank you for chatting it up. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll see you next time on the download. But before that, Jem, give yourself a shout out.
What's up, Jem here? I'll be on the finals. Hit me up.
burning his teammates.
Nice. Yes, Jem is it was held the #1 spot at one time in the finals leaderboard. So big
One
shout
day.
out to Jem.
Just for one day.
Right, it's still, you know what? That's like me in this fantasy football league. I held the top spot for 1 week, and
and
I'll
now
hold
it's
on to
just
that
a
every month.
fantasy.
Yeah, it's not a. It's a memory. It's a memory. All right, because it did actually
True.
happen.
True that. All right, true.
Maker, now that you're off mute, give yourself a shout out and let us know if aliens do or don't exist. Confirm or deny, please.
I'm leaning towards they exist, but not in the way that we think. So I think a lot of this is the recent stuff is more for show, and I feel like we don't really know anything about aliens in reality. But anyways, catch me on Discord or on Twitter, MakerCast12. See you there.
All right, awesome. And SPG, give yourself a shout
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, you can find me on the YouTubes at Simply Pwned Gaming. I'll be playing something tomorrow, something community, maybe some Battlefield, maybe some Chained Together. I haven't figured it out yet.
Awesome. And a Reaver.
Just find on YouTube at Reaver the Beaver, on Twitch at Crobat Reaver. Like I said earlier in Cali stream, just playing some Ghostwire Tokyo and Astrobot, and I'm hoping to try and beat your times, Rue. Just you wait.
Good luck. I hope you do. And Ray, we're getting to you, but I want to let everyone know, if you are listening to the chat and you do want to follow these content creators, the link is in the description below. There's a Discord. It's called Cyborg City. Great place to be. Bunch of content creators always putting on community streams. Even tonight, we just got a hangout where we'll be watching football Thursday night. So be sure to check it out. And it's my man Ray's home. So be sure to take off your shoes at the door. And thank you, Ray, for hosting us. So Ray, give
Right,
yourself a
and
shout out.
baby oil bottles to the left and lube to the right. When you come in. Hey guys,
So you like Diddy? Is that what I'm
We
hearing?
got drinking all night. It's a remix to Ignition, hot and fresh out the kitchen. Mama rolling that.
what the hell?
What
Guys,
the heck?
I'm Ray. Seriously. Anyway, Ray 3473 guys, I just joined Sky Blue, and or is it Blue
Nice.
Sky?
It's
What
Blue
is it?
Sky.
Blue Sky or Sky Blue?
Blue Sky.
I think it's Sky Blue. Blue
Okay,
Sky?
Sky Blue. Sky Blue. Yeah, follow
You
me on
listen
Sky
to
Blue.
Reaver over me in that
I
situation.
think it's Sky. No, I thought it was
fine.
Sky
Blue
Blue.
Chew. I thought it was Blue Chew.
No. But guys, I do the Rock and Ray show. I do the Two Defenders. I do Sportscast, and I stream Saturday night Ray 3473 on Twitch TV, playing some Wreckfest with my friends, and then Sunday I do GeForce Now with Houston. And thank you, chat. Thank you,
GeForce-
panel. And
What's human?
yeah, what's human? Yeah. What's human with Houston Aries? He's a down kid with Down syndrome that I'm helping out, and I just love playing video games with him. So thank you guys.
All right, everybody.
sweet of
And
you.
thank you, chat, for coming and hanging out. You guys have all been epic, amazing, beautiful, and talented. We appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next episode of The Download. Be sure to lock into Cyborg City so you know everything that's happening. Take care, everyone. Have a good night. Be safe out there. And don't listen to Ray.
Don't hit please no sounds, please. Thank you.
Grove. Grove. Why try to believe in me? Why try do I even need to? I die with the season leaves. I glide with the season breeze. True, my mind so easily spooked. I ride just to be the me who finds hype super decently smooth. Nice type, but as sick as